Well, I decided to pop into Colorado, more specifically the beautiful area of Golden, my favorite little pizza shop, my favorite little diner, but most importantly, I really want to see what these Preece kids are up to. So I got to go visit my friends at EBITDA Growth Systems to kind of get caught up over the last couple of months of what's been happening. If you remember, we actually went into a shop that let's be fair, they were working a lot of hours and they deserve to make more money and grow and expand. We want them to have that. And EBITDA Growth Systems is helping with a bit of consulting, bringing people together to see if they can generate the success that these guys deserve. So let's head inside, pay them a little sneak visit, see what they're up to, and see if there's any updates on Preece, because I would love to learn more, and I think you would too. Welcome to Shop Rescue. It's been several months now. Let's see what they're up to. Well guys, it's good to see you again. Thank you so much for sitting down and having this conversation. You know, I've been, for the last few months, been real curious since the last time we got together, just kind of wondering if these two young men have, I guess, gotten their act together. Because the last time we were there, I mean, there was some fist bumping, there was some struggle, there was some anger, and we needed to help that. We needed to figure that out. So what's happened over the last few months?
I've been coaching them. So I've been coaching, spent a lot of time with Nick and Tanner, and it's been neat to watch. There was some tension between the brothers, and that was able to resolve. You know, they were able to get through and work through that, which is fantastic.
There's been some really substantial companies outside of us that have been a part of this as well, right? Am I mistaken in thinking that the paperless parts, the Datanomics, the pro shops, the ones that can really bring this information to the forefront, they've all come together to support these guys as well, right?
Oh, that's probably the best thing about the project. You know, you meet these guys, you do an onboarding session, you start working with them, you start the coaching process, and then we call our friends. Like you said, paperless parts, pro shop, Datanomics, Edge bar feeders, Jergens with 0-point fixturing, Aerox are running some high pressure coolant, high pressure through spindle coolant, and it's getting a lot of mist, so they're able to capture that with Aerox. PEG's helping them find people, and Blazer's giving them lots of different education on their coolant. So everyone's, us, along with all these people, are coming around this team to make sure they're going to be successful.
It is a giant industry hug, it sounds like. Yeah. Mike, what do we got, buddy?
Well, I mean, it's just changing their approach to coming to the office. I mean, Nick has gotten married.
Did he?
Yeah,
the day before yesterday.
There wasn't time for that previously.
Yeah, just relieving a lot of pressure. And I think what happens with these small, medium-sized businesses is they weren't struggling to make quality parts. You know,
the parts were always there.
Yeah, those were always there. But when you don't have profitability, it's just a stress and a strain. Mm-hmm. You know, how do you afford the next job? How do you buy material for the next job? How do you buy tooling? And so Dave gets in there, helps them with their pricing, right sizes their pricing, and they can ship less and make more money because their pricing has been right sized, and it just relieves a lot of pressure. And I think the personalities, the pressure was relieved, so they could be brothers again and enjoy what they're doing. So it's been wonderful to watch.
Well, guys, I think this is enough of us. I'm tired of listening to myself and you. Well, I like you guys, but I'm tired of listening to myself. I think we should head over to the shop and get this first-hand perspective from them, because as much as we say, I want to hear it from them, out of their mouth. Because the last time I was there, a guy was not getting married. Yeah. He was working all the time. So I want to hear all of their stories. Do you think we could head over there?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This is Shop Rescue.
I am Andrew Lusty. I'm account executive for Datanomics. We are the next generation of production intelligence in manufacturing. Well, our slogan is make manufacturing great again, and well, the little guy is where it all starts. Every 2-guy shop, 5-machine shop turns into a 50-machine shop, and participating, right, is back to really our roots. The outcome I'd love to see is looking at even the little guys and the smaller manufacturers and understanding how they can create an ecosystem of technology that allows them to force multiply, right? And through that, right, is really all about being efficient. And that's what I think everybody here is bringing to the table.
Whew. Well, after a quick change and a short drive, we've now found ourselves back at Preece Manufacturing. Now, the last we met with them, there was a little bit of fighting and a little bit of struggle and some conflict and some misquoting or maybe undervalue of their prices and potential. They're hard workers that make brilliant parts, but there's a business acumen that goes into it where eBud as a growth system steps in and says, you know what, we might be able to help you become the true profitable company that you deserve to be. So I kind of snuck in, flew into Colorado, wanted to take a look, a sneak peek into what they're doing, but like always, I gotta bring you along as well. So let's head inside, let's see what they're up to, let's see what changes have occurred, and see if we can have a little fun today, as I believe there's gonna be a bit more smiles than the last time we were here. Come on, let's go inside.
Yeah. So how long we've been working together now? 3 months?
3 months.
What do you think?
Things are awesome. Better than they could have ever been. I don't know.
I mean, what are you learning? What's been good about the whole coaching thing?
I'd say the best part is finding out what we don't know. It's kind of like having accountability, I guess.
Okay.
And so I'd say that's
you learning some
the
good
most
stuff?
valuable thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're learning and getting to try it.
Yeah. You having any extra time at all?
A little extra time. Just got back from my honeymoon, so I got to
right on
take like a week.
Right. So she
just
is
about
real.
a week.
She's real. I met her last night. I know she's real.
She's real.
That's awesome. Real awesome too.
Yeah. She's really sweet. So
that's awesome. And what'd you take? 5 days off?
Just about. I really left half day Friday and got back Thursday, so almost a full week.
So when's the last time you took that much time off?
Probably been 8 months or so. Yeah, I'd say.
Since you took that much time off?
Yeah, consecutively. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Yeah.
Good job.
So Tanner and I started doing a list of our first meeting in the morning is determining priorities, and we're basing them off of essentially a scale 1 to 5 and then a dollar sign. So those are the things that we need to prioritize throughout the day, and then that we split them up between me and Tanner, and then that's what we focus on during our tomato time.
Good job, man.
Yeah.
Are you guys getting along? It seems like you guys are getting along really well too. Like that's coming along really well.
Yeah.
Like that tension conversation kind of like went away.
We figured it out. We're just gonna move on.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad glad you guys worked out.
I understand from Dave that you guys have worked through the whole operating agreement.
Yeah, we talked about it, made a decision on it, really got through it. So
yeah, because you were like, I'm not quite sure I'm going to continue to invest my time and energy if there's not a piece of the action.
Yeah.
And I thought that totally makes sense.
Yeah, we worked that out. My thought process at the time was that, I really love working here and being here, and I want to be here. It's something I want to do forever. But being ambitious and having the ambitions that I have, I didn't want to be here forever and not be a part of this.
Yeah.
And so we found a way that I think works for both of us to really allow me to be a part of it and stay on. So we're
I got to tell you, I didn't think we were going to get there.
Yeah.
Because your brother was taking a pretty hard stance on it.
Yeah, he was.
And I also appreciate you taking a hard stance, like, hey, this is not tenable.
Yeah.
If we don't fix this, things are going to have to change.
Well, you guys really helped with that. Like with the suggestions you guys gave us, that's what we kind of worked off of, and then we got to an agreement, basically. Something that works for both of us. I think.
Well, our role is to say, hey, this makes sense or this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And we're like, Nick, this doesn't make sense, right?
Yep. Well, and the best deals, I think, are where nobody completely wins.
Yeah.
And I don't think either of us totally got what we wanted, but we're definitely in a good place now. So
that's huge.
Really stoked for that.
That's huge. So you guys can both put your shoulder to the grindstone now.
Yeah.
Let's talk Jergens first.
Jergens.
Let's show me what we got.
So we got I don't know.
Zero
point system. We haven't got it fully set up yet, but
they just sent it to you.
They just sent it, and so our plan is to kind of, let me think of how to say this. We're trying to implement some kind of system where the zero is obviously on the 0 point, and then we can just switch fixtures in and out and not be having to reprobe. And so we're trying to find the best way to exactly do that. Come out.
Sometimes we put tooling balls on here and found our X, Y, and Z off the tooling ball.
See, we don't know yet. We don't know. My impression of it was the 0 was this point, one of these points.
The 0 point is all about being repetitive, going in and out because it's really repetitive.
Right.
But sometimes these bores, I've found that I put something on the fixture.
Yeah.
I've been able to redo it because we outfitted about 17 mils to where we're just be able to, because the beauty of 0 point fixturing is you put a fixture on and off and on and it repeats within 2/10,000ths of an inch over 10,000 cycles. So your 0, you find it like that. So that's the point of everything. But when I used mine, this wasn't 100%.
So our perspective on it was we don't have as much need for fixtures like boom, boom with the same part on it. What we'd love is to have it fully mocked up in CAD with a known 0 point every single time that you just pop a fixture on there and we don't need a skilled person to come probe it and to come set 0. It's already set off the fixture. So that's kind of what we're trying to do the same thing, just more low volume. Well, that's super flexible.
So if you put a tooling ball here and you swing your XYZ, and your G54, G55, G56 is off of that, and then you take one of these and set it on the CMM. You can pop it off of this and drop it on the CMM for inspection and go back and forth between the CMM and the mill. And then everything is off that one point. That way, regardless of what side you're using, if this is one plate, right? So you'll put this on, but there's some clearance for something over here if you need it.
I think that's for finger to lift.
But you can put a tooling ball over here, like in this corner, and swing that and make it pretty easy if you want to.
Yeah.
But that's the way I did it, but I'm an old tool maker. So I like tooling balls, so you can get X, Y, and Z off a ball in one location. But you're a young whippersnapper doing everything on YouTube, so you can...
No, they got probes now.
Well, probe the ball. But you can take this, the beauty of it is being able to go from the mill to the CMM.
So how do you do that? How do you go from the CMM? Do you have to have one of these fixtures
on the CMM? Yeah, one of these fixtures on the CMM.
With an air supply to it on the CMM?
It could be manual or an air supply. Gotcha. Sometimes they have air, and sometimes they have a manual one where you can drop it in there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So this would stay in every machine.
Right.
The goal is to have one of these in every machine, then one of these on the CMM, to where you put your fixture on and you standardize what's up here, whether it's a vise or whatever you mount to this, and then you take it off in the mill and you take back CMM and you do an inspection and say, hey, move your X 2/10 or 5/10, and then put it back. Boom, you relocate. You got to make sure you don't switch it this way, right? Got to make sure it's the same way. You know, sometimes we would anodize a side or mark a side to where it would only go in one way, and we would go back and forth. And sometimes during setup, we would get a good part first time instead of having setup scrap because we're able to measure halfway through that process.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I love these things. When I was talking to Matt, I called Matt at Juergens. I'm like, hey, this is a project we're working on with Preece.
Yeah.
Let's send something over there. Let me check it out. And he's like, yeah, sure. So I'm glad you got these. I can't wait for you guys to deploy them and see what's going on.
Oh, he was just so helpful and so willing to come out when we do get this set up to help us put it together. And
so he's all about even customizing it.
Yeah, that's what he was saying, is that they have a shop and they'll build you fixtures, design them. And so we're excited to kind of
A lot of people have standard fixtures. They have some standard fixtures too, but what they do, what Juergens does, they go the extra mile in customizing something for something special, because you can have a single one of these or a double. So you can have one of these here or a double. Say the double is all about, the double lets you hog. You can go into that really heavy, you make a heavy cut. Heavy cut.
Yeah.
So probably heavier than some of the machines can do. I mean, you really go after it pretty hard.
Without it lifting?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, it's a ton. You ought to talk to Matt about how much that clamping pressure is phenomenal.
Yeah. No, I'll have to ask him about it. He's super receptive to questions.
Right on.
Yeah, so he's been awesome.
One thing I love about working with Nick and Tanner is the fact that they're very receptive. And when we look at coaching clients, we really spend a lot of time with them to make sure they're going to listen. Because all the advice in the world, all the experience in the world is worthless unless someone will stop what they're doing, take a breath, and listen to what we have. And what I love about those young men is they take the advice. Not only do they take it, but next time I talk to them, they've already deployed a couple things that I've talked about, and they're excited about it, and they love it. And we're really, really excited to see where this is going to go.
So what has changed since we were here?
Oh man,
this misfit. What's that all about?
that thing's going to be awesome. So that is our air purifier basically for this machine.
Yeah.
what we found this is amazing for is this is our only machine right now that has the through coolant.
Has the what?
Through coolant spindle.
Okay.
And so when we're doing through coolant drilling, this thing sucks all that up. It's really awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super cool. We love that thing.
Normally it would get misted
Yeah.
into the atmosphere. You're breathing that stuff.
We would
right?
mist up, makes it hard to see inside, and then can get through the doors, get through the cracks, mist everywhere. That thing's awesome.
One of the critical things we did up front was to get these guys into an operating agreement so that both brothers had equity in the company. Prior to that, one brother had equity, full equity. The other brother was just putting his shoulder against the wall, trying to move the company along without any equity interest. So once they solved that, it made a huge difference for both brothers.
So let's move on to the next one. We got Tiffany and Dan. I know you've been using Blaser for a while. You're a big fan, but are they teaching you stuff? Are they teaching you more of what you didn't know? I know they wanted to spend some time with you and educate you on the coolant, but I mean, you've been using it for a while.
We've been using it for a long time. We've been Blaser shop we're going into our 6th year right now, and I'd say for the last 5 years. So when I bought my first mill 5 years ago, it just got paid off, so we're 5 years into using Blaser. That was the first thing I charged up in this machine, and we wouldn't do anything else. It's really incredible, yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people are like, Blaser's kind of expensive, this, that, and the other, and you're shop watching pennies, right?
A barrel lasts way longer. Like, we go through way more water than we do coolant, which I'm sure is common, but we go through a ton of water. The coolant just stays, and it stays clean. This is a little bit not flattering, but we don't really maintain sumps. Like, we have a ton of, we should probably go through and pull all the fines out of it.
Yeah.
But there's nothing growing in our sumps. There's no weird smell.
Yeah, it doesn't smell.
We haven't changed the coolant in these machines, in one of them, for probably like 3 years. There's a few we try to keep up on, but there's one that just has had the same coolant in it. We just keep topping it off, and it cuts. And we're not just a easy aluminum shop. We're running.
You cut some tough materials.
Yeah, we're running titanium, stainless, all kinds of stainlesses,
Invar.
Nitronic 60, Invar, Kovar, and then of course regular aluminums, and
And that same
the
coolant
coolant just
works
holds
for
up.
everything?
Yeah, it just
That's
holds
awesome.
up.
Are you noticing good tool life on it too?
The best. Yeah, it's incredible. Like we couldn't recommend it highly enough.
You got a tattoo? You got a Blaser tattoo?
Not yet, but we're super passionate about it because it's really clean. Like, we've had some other coolants that are just filthy to work with, and we find it just super clean. Go wash your part off in water, all the coolant comes off. It's super water soluble, so you don't need to go all crazy. Just in water. We had a customer ask us how we clean our parts for them, and for them, for this particular customer, it was just a simple soak in water. Like, we're just washing it in water and drying it. And they said it was cleaner than all their other vendors.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
we said, it's just our coolant.
One thing we talked about with Nick and Tanner, we're doing sprints. What's happening is they're very diffused. They're running around the shop, trying to manage jobs, trying to manage all their employees and make sure everything's going all the time, answering emails, and kind of, I don't want to say haphazard, but everywhere all the time. And so we really talked to them about this technique called the Pomodoro technique. And what that is Nick and Tanner, both individually, Nick will spend an hour in the office just drilling down, say that hour is costing jobs, making sure that he's getting all that done. And then Nick will come out in the shop, and then Tanner will go in the office and he'll spend an hour doing quotes, just drilling down and focusing on nothing but quotes. And both of these guys are getting about 2 of those a day. In doing that, they're staying up on they're working on the business tasks, and they're getting a lot more done. So in a typical 10-hour day, they might get 15, 16 hours worth of work because they're sprinting. And they're pulling themselves out of that day-to-day whirlwind and being much more effective, creating some open time where they can really focus. And it's really neat to see that. It's becoming very effective for them.
So I see the big Pro Shop banner. How has the transition been?
Pro Shop is amazing. We love Pro Shop. When we had first looked at getting Pro Shop, I was a little skeptical about the cost of it, but almost instantaneously with our first training session with them, was worth it. You could easily see how worth it was.
You are a doubting Thomas, because I think you were like skeptical about us coming in. We had worked with Nick before.
Yep.
And then when we came in to meet you the first time, you're like, oh, okay, guys, you guys are good enough guys, but I'm not quite sure it's going to be worth the investment.
I like to be a little bit of a skeptic, right? feel like it saves me in more situations than it hurts me. And so in being a skeptic, I was a little skeptical about coming on with, I'm just trying to be skeptical about everything. So I was a little skeptical about coming on with you guys. Any kind of big purchase is always something that I want to think about a lot.
I like it. I like it.
And so we did that with you guys. Stoked that we did that. You guys are amazing. Same kind of thing with Pro Shop. It's a huge, investment.
Yeah.
And the second we got it though, you could see how well it was going to handle everything that we do here day to day.
Yeah.
So all the things that we used to have to do on multiple different systems or Excel spreadsheets, all now in one spot. Handles in-process checks, handles everything perfectly. And we actually just did our stage 1 audit.
Okay. So for AS9100.
Yep, AS9100.
So tell me a little bit more about that, because that's pulling your lip over your forehead, man.
Yeah. Well, it went really well. We did pass the stage 1 audit, and I think a big part of that is due to Pro Shop. So we got the flying start package with Pro Shop.
Yeah.
Which basically handles all of the AS information that you need.
Totally.
So it's funny because it almost bothered the auditor how fast we were able to find stuff for AS. She'd ask us a question about a quality procedure or something in our quality manual. And yeah, it's right here. Click, find it. She'd be like, well, what about this that pertains to 8.3? And yeah, perfect. It's right here because it all holds it in one spot. So it was almost irritating to her, I think, that we found the answers to all of her questions so fast.
That's one of the things that Pro Shop hangs their hat on. So it's great to hear that it in fact works like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. So love Pro Shop. Pro Shop's a game changer.
So when we engage with a client, part of our coaching model is called the GROW model, and it came out of England. But G stands for goal, R stands for the current reality, O stands for the opportunity or the strategy to close the gap between the goal and the current reality, and then W stands for the willingness. And Tanner and Nick have so much willingness to close that gap and achieve their goals. And it energizes us and it energizes them as well.
Sorry, dude.
So you have an LNS. You've had some issues with LNS over time. I know you put a lot of work into it, and then Rick Bauer from Edge Technologies. You met with him, and I know he's talking to you. What do you know about Edge? Tell me a little bit about Rick, and tell me about what they want to do.
So the story I'd say behind this, it's not so much that we've had issues with this machine, more so that the story of the lathe is just, unique. So we bought this to make one particular part, and we told our customer that we'd have a machine and have parts within 8 weeks. Like, we didn't have the lathe, and they were cool with that. Got the machine, had to teach ourselves how to use a live tooling lathe with a sub spindle and the whole deal.
Did you learn that on YouTube?
No, there's not a lot of info on YouTube for machines like this, unfortunately. So it was literally just digging through the Hyundai Wea manual and trial and error. But
have you been on the phone with them like late at night yet?
Oh yeah, they were.
I learned G-code from a guy overseas, a Hyundai guy, walking me through. When I bought my first lathe, I'm like, okay, I bought a lathe now. Okay, I'm not sure how was it, and they were actually really helpful.
Yeah,
guys I talked to.
So it was awesome. But so the story basically is we had 8 weeks to do this. We're coming up on our 6th week, and we finally have parts coming off. And we thought we'd spend the last 2 weeks trying to get the bar feeder up and running. And it was just a little bit too complicated, and at some point we just had to stop and make parts.
Yep.
And so it is a machine that we can run a 48-inch bar, so we weren't totally dead. Like, we were able to automate it a little bit.
Tell me a little bit about why you like Edge, why you like Rick, why they're talking about
apparently
possibly swapping this out.
Apparently it's a lot easier. Apparently it couldn't be closer to plug and play. It's kind of the way it's. We obviously haven't gotten to try it out yet, but that's.
And if
that's the case, we'll use it. We haven't gotten into this because it's just been too much of a
learning curve.
I would say a learning curve, and it's been hard to dedicate the time. You know how it is, like, you get a part and then you need to start making the part. You can't just decide, I'm gonna figure out how to use this while my customer's waiting for parts. So
right on.
So that's been the deal. We've talked about it. We don't know.
I know the company. They want to step up, and they want to ship a bar feeder here and take this one out and put that one in, install it for you, and the whole thing. So
it sounds the ease of use is what it sounds like. It's more modern and
Edge,
a lot simpler to use.
Edge is a really good bar feeder. I was talking to a Swiss guy the other day. He's like, Edge is where it's at. I'm like, all right, well, it's I'm excited to see how they do that. But it's nice. They sent you a banner. It's up on the wall, and I know they're stepping up in a big way to let me put one in and let you see what it does.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not talking about a couple weeks. So I mean, the things that they're willing to do to come around this project's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
So, tell me about. Did you talk to Peter at PEG last night? Did you meet him?
Yeah, I did. Super nice guy, really interesting background, and sounds like he's got a knack for staffing, which sounds like a hard thing to have a knack for, to me.
Yeah,
because it's been brutal, especially since COVID. Ever since COVID, man, we've been having a hard time finding people. So yeah, it's been nice to.
He's really grown. He's grown. I mean, he left. He started his own place. He left a competitor, started his own place, said, you know, I can do it better.
Yeah.
And people mean a lot to him. And we've been working with Peter just shy of 5 years. Just a good guy. Mm-hmm. And he's like, how can I help? You know, I don't make machine parts. I don't make this stuff. But people in this area, skilled people, are people I know. Mm-hmm. He works with 26 states now, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of good luck with different customers using those guys. So I was really appreciate him being part of the project.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Right on.
Yeah.
Nick and Tanner decided they're really going to dive in and double down on the aerospace and defense industry. So they wanted to go after their AS9100 cert. So they have a young man in the back managing their quality side of the business, developing procedures, making sure Pro Shop is tight. And they got Nick and Tanner and this young man diving into the software, leveraging the QMS side of Pro Shop, which I happen to love. Love having the quality piece inside the ERP. It's a fantastic idea. Hats off to them. But what they did is they took all that, they worked very, very hard, and they passed their first audit, their stage 1 with flying colors. I couldn't be more proud of that team, how hard they worked, and I know that's going to give them fantastic opportunities to really deploy their high-end skill.
Dude, Datanomics is also legendary. So the way I understand this is it ports into your machines, reads all the code, reads all the little alarms, everything that goes into it, and gives you all of this information that you thought you knew.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
You didn't know.
No. And so you can see right there, it's got the C-.
Yes.
So that is actually based off of ProShop's quote. So when we've quoted something, we've put it into ProShop, we've put in the times that it should take for a part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quote to actual is what that.
Yes.
That's a grade.
Yes.
Of quote to actual.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's sweet. And then right now we don't have a lot of machines running, but you can see we've got one that is killing it.
Yeah.
It's doing great. So absolutely love Datanomics, and it seems like every single, so we just got that implemented like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the way we understand it is right now they're like gather data.
Yes.
So we're just gathering data. And every single day it's cooler and cooler. Right?
Yeah.
Like the first day you're like, this is cool. Second day you're like, this is really cool. Third, and it just gets better and better with the more data that it gets. And so we're still
data
just,
that you can leverage.
Yeah. And we're just learning how to use that, but we're really, really excited about Datanomics.
Now in ProShop, they want to know machine utilization because they make you put a rate in there.
Yep.
And so is this interfacing with ProShop? So like, okay, we said 15 hours of machine time.
Yes. So we have to, the way, we haven't played with it a lot yet.
Okay.
Like I said, they were like gather data, which is what we're doing. But the way I understand it is that it does do that, and we have to set our shop rate in here to match ProShop.
Yes, yes.
This just pulls the times that we've quoted a part for. So you can see that it's got like, well, when it cycles through, you'll have a part number on a machine.
Yep.
That part number needs to match ProShop. Then it reads it, interfaces, and goes, well, this is how long you quoted it for. Here's how long it actually took. Here's exactly how long your setup time was. Here's exactly how long your runtime was, which we're excited about because it's really accurate to quote.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So you can always make money on your quotes.
Yeah, and so we know instantly if we're losing money on a quote or if we're making money on a quote or if we quoted it perfect.
Wow, I didn't know that Datanomics had moved to that integration with ProShop. So
Datanomics is slick.
Wow,
we're excited about that.
I have to tell you, implementing ProShop and paperless parts at the same time is a huge undertaking for any company, but for a really small manufacturer, it's a real challenge. But Nick and Tanner have helped them by identifying their machine rates and their labor rates and their overhead rates, and so we've been able to implement ProShop and paperless parts and have it start making a real difference in their company right from the beginning.
We signed up with paperless at the same when we engaged you guys, and so we've been with paperless for probably 4 years now, and we wouldn't quote any other way. There's other quoting solutions out there that, like in ProShop, And we stuck around with paperless because it's super easy and super visual. To be able to look at the model is a critical part of quoting. And so to actually see the model, highlight features that are possibly problematic, and then share it with a teammate and have them comment on it, and then wrap it all up together in a quote, or be able to build your own. Like we've built our own quoting. They have the P3L.
Yeah.
And so we've basically built it to mirror how we're going to put it into ProShop. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Right on. Right. I know those guys have worked with you a lot back and forth, making sure things are set up well, and you have questions and stuff like that. So
yeah, they're really smart over there, and the idea of a product that it's pretty close to instant quoting is
you got to put a lot of work into it to make sure it's right. I mean,
yeah, you do, and we've put in that work. We've had it for 4 years, and so we've had the opportunity to dive into the code and make little adjustments and put all that.
Do you think starting out small? Because when I met you, you were a six-figure shop, not a seven-figure shop yet, and so the six-figure shop starting smaller and then growing. Along that journey, did you find them just a great piece of software as you grew?
Yes,
because some people are like, I'm too small to get that kind of software. What would you say to that?
If you want to spend all your time quoting, then that's a perfectly good answer. You know, I don't want to spend all my time quoting. I kind of want to get quotes in and out in 30 minutes. Really huge quotes for us is 50 line items, 60 line items, and that'd take us about a day to work through. I'd say if you didn't have paperless, the chances of you being accurate and getting that done within 24 hours are pretty slim, unless you have a team behind you, and even then, that costs you more than however much paperless.
One person, what's it save you? Probably 4x of your time?
On us, yeah, it does. I would say the time savings, I don't know though. We started using paperless so long ago that we don't have a great frame of reference for how much time we're saving.
I remember hopping on the phone with Jason Ray and him saying, yeah, I'll help this guy out. He came alongside you guys early.
He did. He's been awesome, and but like I said, I don't know how much time we're saving as much as I can see the value in being able to really analyze every model and part and having a really nice place to keep everything.
So, okay, I'm going to just ask you to estimate. You have a new quote come in, 50 different line items, and you and Tanner have to figure it out all by yourself, no paperless. You have to build everything all by yourself. How long would you have to set aside in your schedule to
do that quote?
Yeah, without paperless.
And we did quotes like that before paperless. It would probably take us about a week.
So it saves you 1/5 the time.
Yeah.
So that's real.
Yeah,
that's real. And so as you're growing your shop, you were able to be out in the machine getting things going.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting behind it, because I talk to a lot of shop owners. They spend a lot of time quoting, man, like half their time.
I know, and so as a small shop, like when it was just me before we brought Tanner on, I'm the lead machinist. I didn't have time to be doing quoting in the books and maybe thinking about the future, like with EGS and machining. There's just no way. So we had to we're trying to, it's not like cut corners, but we're trying to make everything as efficient as possible.
Right on.
And yeah, it's been cool.
That's good. It's a good software, great team. It's a great team.
This is Shop Rescue.
Hi, this is Rick Bauer, Vice President of Edge Technologies. We're a leading magazine bar feeder company based out of St. Louis, Missouri. Our goal is to help U.S. manufacturing survive by using automation, and when we get the opportunity to sit down with companies like Preece to help every U.S. manufacturing company survive, our heart, our soul, our corporate culture, everybody is in this together as a team. We're here to win in U.S. manufacturing, and it takes the smallest shops, the 1 machine, the 2 machine, the 500 machine shops. We can all do this. We will win in U.S. manufacturing.
I can't stress enough how excited I am about you and your brother working through the particulars so that you guys can get on with the next chapter.
Yeah.
And then, one of the things we do is when we engage with a client, we find that some percentage of the time, we can establish the goals for them, but they just don't have the will to listen to what we say do.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how proud I am of you and your brother, man.
Well, dude, we love working with you guys.
Yeah,
it's been instrumental in helping us.
Yeah, but you
figure
got to
some
work with
stuff out.
Dave more than me, and that's hard. That's hard work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you guys are so responsive, and it's important to us to see that translate.
Yeah.
And we see it translating for you guys, and so I think the future is going to be really bright for you, and I think our next phase is going to be talking about growth.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of visibility now in the community.
Yep.
I think people are going to continue to want to come and be a part of what you got going here.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be all about growth. And for us, growth is not only top line revenue, but profitability as well.
Yep.
And I think that's the life change that you guys are experiencing.
It's been amazing, dude. We're super happy with everything you guys have helped us with.
Yeah.
And I mean, so we've been machining forever. We just need to learn the business, and I think you guys are helping us with that a lot, right?
Yeah,
Figuring out how to run a business is instrumental, and it's been super helpful. So.
I think that's what Dave likes the most about you guys. Your willingness to grab those really hard parts and just get after it, and then he appreciates that.
Yeah.
And then I really love the fact that you guys have turned this business around. You're quoting the way you should be quoting.
Yeah.
You're getting this data on.
Yep.
How efficient is the operation, and it's really all coming together.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, we're stoked.
Yeah, good deal.
I'm going to ask you something personal. Answer if you feel comfortable. How's Elena feel with this whole process? What's her feedback? I mean, is it like I'll believe it when I see it, or is she
She's
seeing
skeptical.
anything?
Well, we went on our honeymoon, and so. But at the same time, we're right back to work a little bit. I still work a lot. So I think she's a little skeptical, but she's starting to see the benefits, I'd say.
Is she becoming a little hopeful?
I think so, yeah. Yeah,
The dog's not biting you when you come in the door, right?
No,
That's
he's...
good.
While Dave and Mike were talking to Nick and Tanner, I managed to get an exclusive interview with Nick's wife, Elena. Check this out. Elena, this isn't something we planned, not something we expected, but I had the beautiful opportunity to stand out front with you and share some emotions, and I wanted to learn more about your side of what this has been like. You've been with Nick for a long time, 8 years some might say, recently married even, and from the outside looking in, it seems you've really put up with, him being gone a lot and dedicating himself to this business. Would you mind sharing your journey of the last 8 years as well?
Yeah, I was there in the beginning. It started with a hobby. I found this machine. I'm going to put it in the garage of the house I'm staying at. And it was him. And from there, he went to St. Louis. Even that was just like, I'm going to St. Louis for like kind of an internship with my uncle. I was like, okay. And then it was, I found this cool house. Would you move out here? It's like, okay. And we didn't. And then he came here, and I'm going to go to school and, get a shop to put some stuff in to start this. I was like, okay. And it's been a lot of, dinner was 2 hours ago. Haven't seen you. We get maybe 30 minutes when you get home. And overall, I get the picture, but some days I'm like, I'd really just like to have a day to just sit at the house and do nothing and just be in your presence, which we don't get a lot of that. So
I think we all want that from our loved ones, right? Has it been hard on the relationship, or are you just so sturdy, like just go work, Nick, go work?
There's definitely moments where I'm like, you need to leave, like you need to go to work, you need to I think I've grown used to my time though, my kind of aloneness, because he's been here so long. So I think it's now flipped where I'll have to shift back to him being at home. But for a while there were some rough patches of, I know this is important, I fully support it, but there's moments where I'm like, I want to be important too. I know I am, but, I'd like to...
Show me.
Yeah, exactly.
Show me I'm
show up to
important.
work every day, stay home for a day, or help me with the dog, or, come with me to a family event. People don't even ask where Nick is anymore. He's always at work.
The answer is assumed at this point, right? Always. He showed up to his wedding.
Yes.
He wasn't at work.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
I told him, you can go to work that morning. We don't need you till 2. And surprisingly, he didn't. So...
Well, thinking about this and filming the first show, I heard numbers like 80 hours a week, 90 hours a week, Monday through Sunday from almost dawn to dusk. Is this all true?
100%. 100%. I don't see Nick a whole lot throughout the day, ever, and since this has started. He used to sleep here. That doesn't happen anymore.
Well, thank goodness.
It was in the old shop. There was a loft above like the workspace, and got the place for the loft so he can put a futon mattress up there and sleep and do homework. He was in school then, and do work during, when he could.
So did you come over and cuddle him from time to time
at
work?
It was nice.
Did
We
you
used
really?
to live 5 minutes down the road, so I can come hang out more. Now we live a little further, so it's harder to get down here, just for funsies. So yeah, he has slept here many a nights.
EBITDA Growth Systems is a unique entity in that they come in and help really smart machinists who are making some of the best parts on the planet understand how to profit and actually run a business. Have you seen a little bit of a change over the last few months already?
Yep, of course, yeah. Even the fact that we could take a few days for a honeymoon, he's not obsessing about what we do next or how we're gonna, make another sale. Because he's so good at the technical part, but he obsesses over the business part. And he didn't talk about work on our honeymoon, which is unheard of. I was shocked. So even that alone speaks volumes.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked to hear that as well.
Yeah.
So knowing what it's been, this has been darn near your entire relationship, and you guys got together young. So let me not date the 8 years as if you guys are ancient. It is a young relationship. What is your hope that when this is done, that comes from all of it?
I hope they can enjoy what they've built. I know everyone has passion for what they do, but I feel like there's not a lot of enjoyment in it. It's too much stress and worrying, and I want Nick to be happy and to enjoy his life. I want other shop owners to enjoy what they've built. Instead of always worrying about the next day, the next job, the next sale, and to spend time with their families. We got married 5 days ago, and we don't even talk about a family because what time do we have? So maybe, that could be a future, and we don't have to worry about anything. We can just kind of keep enjoying the things that are building.
Elena, thank you so much
thank
for your
you.
time. You are such a pleasure. We appreciate you offering us this perspective, which we almost never get. So we really appreciate that.
Of course, anytime. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your help with everything.
This is Shop Rescue.
Hi, I'm Matt Schron. I'm the Vice President and General Manager of Juergens Inc., worldwide work loading and fixturing company. Juergens really helps small manufacturing shops because typically what you're seeing in small manufacturing shops today is they have high mix, low volume production. So what we can really help them do is on setup time reduction. I think this is more than just about the manufacturing community. It's trying to get people outside the manufacturing community aware of what's going on as well too. And I'm hoping that people recognize the value that manufacturing provides for the U.S. There's so many small manufacturing shops that start in garages and grow out of it. And I think we can really help support those people and the manufacturing community and outside the manufacturing community as well for the long term.
What do you think? They have come a long way, haven't they? These kids, these Preece kids, are you kidding me? It's kind of exciting to see these frowns and grumpiness turn into smiles and happiness and profitability. This is what EBITDA Growth Systems can bring to a shop. And then to connect with the newlyweds, the wife, and hear the emotional trauma that has now turned into hope. Is there anything better than that? This is the manufacturing in the U.S. that we love. So thank you all for watching, and there is more episodes coming to you. Join us again for episode 3, where we find out what the future holds for the Preece brothers. Now that they're back on track, let's see how much profit they can make and what the future holds.